Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of NasCard Radio. This is episode 116 of NasCard Radio, where trading cards and racing meet. I'm your pal Val, and with me is some Texas card dude,
What up, everybody? What up, yo?
Brad,
What up, Skidmark?
and then the man,
Marks.
the myth, the legend, PSA, and White Castle Hall of Famer, Logan. How are you?
I'm feeling fined.
Awesome. And Jason, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. We miss you.
Do you really miss him?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
And of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Panini America. And got a great show for everybody today. We're going to do a racing recap like normal. We're going to talk about um, some Goldin auctions ended, and we'll take a look at some of the prices there that were realized. We're going to talk about NASCARs and some of the sets, maybe some of the history and some of the more popular sets folks might not know about. And then we're going to finish off with King's Court. So, did I miss anything?
Yippee.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me get to it. There was no truck race, but they are actually coming out of hiatus now, and they are running race number 21. There's only two races left till Phoenix. One of those races will be Talladega Super Speedway, the Chevy Silverado 250, and that's going to be Saturday, October 1st at 2:30 p.m. Stages for Talladega Super Speedway, end of lap 20, end of lap 40, and end of lap 94.
Crasherama.
Yep.
Love
And
it. Racing.
it's going to be a good day Saturday because it's actually going to be a doubleheader. So, but I'm skipping ahead here. So over to Xfinity, they actually were racing last week, and that was race number 27 of the 18th annual Andy's Frozen Custard 300. I think those guys are still finishing up the ice cream. And that was Saturday, September 24th at Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas. Just a coincidence having Brad on from Texas? I don't know. Our
Mm.
winner, Noah Greskin, and highest finishing rookie was Austin Hill at position 2.
Yeah, them boys going to Cup. There's no doubt.
What are they still eating ice cream in the pits? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's a little Days of Thunder reference there. Noah Greskin is putting on a show in September, and they've actually rolled out the Mr. September reminiscent of Harry Gant. I was tweeting that he's Mr. September Jr., but
Yeah, no, nobody can take that away from Harry Gant. Gregson will have to be junior for sure.
which is not a bad thing.
No.
This is the fourth straight win for Noah Greskin in the Xfinity Series. So I think they're hitting on all cylinders. Like you said, they're destined the Cup. Uh, Everybody is going to be taking notice of Gretzky now, if they
Yeah,
weren't before.
you know that he tied a record with those 4 wins in a row. He tied that record with Sam Ard from 1983. So it's been 39 years since that's happened. Now, will he get a fifth win? I don't think so. I think Talladega is going to be too tough for him to try to pull that off. But who knows? He might get lucky.
Yeah, the odds are definitely against him at Talladega because, as you said, it's anything goes there. With everybody's waiting for that big one. But when it comes to no aggression cars, we've been, like I said, talking about them for the last 4 weeks now.
I'm just trying to figure out who the rookie of the year for the Xfinity Series is. I think it's Ty freaking Gibbs.
It could be Austin Hill.
It
Yeah, I
could be.
think. Yeah, but first, no aggression. Let me finish up on his cards. 2017 Dunruss, only in Signature Series there. First base cards are going to be in 2017 Panini Absolute. I have those up on the screen. That's card number 88 with the different, like, handful of parallels and then with printing plates. 2017 Panini Select, only signatures, and 2017 Panini Torque, only signatures. Highest finishing rookie, Austin Hill. We talked about him last week, and I made a correction now. So the 2021 Dunrush with all the different parallels, optic signatures, and then printing plates. And then in Chronicles last week, we were talking about he was in only in Zenith, and Jason had pointed out that he's in Spectra, which is correct. So he has the Spectra number 10 and the different parallels, the Celestial Blue number to 99, Interstellar Red to 49, Pink to 25, Gold to 10, and Nebula 101. And then 2021 Panini Prism signing sessions.
Yeah, that boy's good. He's probably going to take over Coloredic's ride. And I'm going to guess it's the 29 car. That would be my guess because he's not going to get the 3. If Kyle Busch can get the 3, then you know that Austin Hill's not going to get the 3.
Yeah, with Tyler Reddick leaving or bringing that or moving that car number or whatever, definitely. But just quick stats on Noah Greskinen. And this year, there's been 27 races so far. He has 7 wins, 16 top 5s. So I know last year, I think he didn't have a little luck and uh, didn't go very far in the playoffs. So, but this year, I think it's kind of interesting that with pretty much drawing the line in the sand and going to Petty, this could be his year for the championship. So
It's sure looking that way. I thought Sam Mayer was going to do better than he did, and I would have thought Sam Mayer would have already won a race. But he was caught up in some accidents this weekend, but I think he still finished like 8th or something. So he came back.
so and I'm going to throw it out there that Noah Greskin, I don't think his cars are at the same level as Ty Gibbs, right? Ty Gibbs, I think, has got all the, I don't want to say the hype or whatever moving the cup, and that's where all the energy's at. His cars prices are very high, but I think Noah is probably more reasonable, I think, than than Ty Gibbs. So I think that's a buy. So I'm starting to pick up some Noahs as I find them at a, I guess, competitive price, or wait till the off season.
Yeah, I mean, even his autographs are really not that expensive.
Yeah, so I'll be looking for some Noah Greskin cards. Even though Petty's probably not one of the super elite teams, but Noah's got some talent, and maybe he goes to Petty for a few years or goes somewhere else. But he's definitely talented.
Yeah, he'll probably make that Richard Petty ride look good. I think because Petty's GMS has already got 1 win this year with Eric Jones. So I mean, who
At
knows?
Darlington, yep, exactly.
So I guess he's going to take over the 42 car where Todd Dillon is now.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Moving on, next race number 28. Only 5 till Phoenix, including the Talladega Super Speedway. That's the Sparks 300. And that's going to be Saturday, October 1st at 4 p.m. So we're having a doubleheader on Saturday with the truck race at 12:30. Stages for Xfinity Talladega, end of lap 25, end of lap 50, and end of lap 113. Noah is leading the points so far and is going to advance to the round of 8 with that win. We have Riley Herbst, Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, and Jeremy Clements outside looking in to that top 8. So Ryan Sieg and Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer is holding on at position 7 by 1 point. So
Yeah.
So he's got to bring it these last
Yeah,
races.
I'd love to see him win. That'd be something if he could win at Talladega. That'd be awesome.
Well, if you're going to win someplace, that's Talladega's as good as any. If you can
Yeah,
avoid the big one or
yeah,
two or three,
exactly. It's a wild card, so I mean, literally anybody in the field could win.
anybody.
Even
Moving.
Haley David.
This is true. Uh, moving over to the Cup Series, that was race number 30, and that was the 18th annual Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500. That was Sunday, September 25th at Texas Motor Speedway. Tyler Reddick was our winner. Highest finished rookie was Austin Cindric at position 15. Now, this is the third win for Tyler Reddick. I went and looked and was like, how he's doing this year. He's got four finishes where he came in second. So another one who's somebody who said, "Hey, I'm leaving in a year." Has been doing. He's gotten 2 wins since that announcement.
He may be, double thinking on this one. He may be going, huh? Maybe I shouldn't have left. This team is doing really good.
And poor Richard Childress is like, now they're getting all these wins.
Yeah, but this just goes to show you that Childress has really stepped up the game, and I think Kyle Busch is going to step into a good ride. So I think Kyle Busch has a good chance of winning multiple races next year. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Kyle is definitely going to make that team better.
Oh gosh, yes.
Tyler Reddick. Let me pull up his cheat sheet here for me. I know we've talked about him a few times over the season. Let's see, where is his the 2016 certified there. But 2016 rookie year, first cards for him in 2016 Panini Prism only signatures, no base cards. How cool would it have been to have some base cards in Prism? But denied. Only signatures. 2016 Panini Torque, we have a base card there for him. Tyler Reddick, card number 66 with the different parallels, the test proofs, and printing plates, all 101s. There's dual materials and then driver scripts in Torque. Also base card in 2016 Panini Certified, card number 49 with the different mirror parallels, and then certified potential signatures and the parallels for that. So he's another one I think is what was such a great talent. Kind of reminds me of Kyle Larson, where the guy's got a lot of talent, but if he was there's good teams and there's elite teams, right? And I don't know if you probably agree with me on this, and that he's moving up to a good team. But we saw like Kyle Larson. I think he was on a good team with Canassi, and then went to an elite team like Hendrick, and then last year he was lights out. So
Yep.
Yeah,
uh,
being on a particular team hurts and helps. Hurts and helps. You could be a fantastic driver, and if you're on a lousy team, then or even halfway decent, then you're going to struggle all year, mightily,
Oh
mightily.
yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
you're exactly right. So you have the driver, and that's an equation. You have the crew chief making the calls, and thinking about it, have that experience of you know when to pit and what tires, fuel, all this other stuff, and then you actually have the crew over the wall that's changing the tires, making sure that if you drop a lug nut or whatever, they have an extra ring on their belt to just put in the gun in and get that tire going. So I think it was during the race they had some hiccups, and they mentioned how many spots that they dropped down because of the hiccup on the pit road. So there's a lot of things that go through it. Just like a quarterback gets a lot of the praise for the win or the loss, but it's really a team effort, and it takes a team to do it. So
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
mean,
does.
even the spotter is extremely important. Y'all were talking last week about, uh, uh, I can't remember if it was Deegan or Patrick took the low side instead of the high side. Spotter probably told her to go. She went, and then ended up pretty much losing a whole bunch of points and a whole bunch of spots as she watched people go by. And there's nothing you could do but just sit there and wait, because if you try to force your way in, there's bad things could happen. So
Yeah, the drivers don't like that. So, but
No,
no,
they
you're exactly right. So there's a lot of decisions to be made throughout the race, and then the person who makes the best number of good decisions wins the race. So our highest finishing rookie, Austin Cindric, 2018 Dunruss. Phenoms in the insert, the 2018 Panini Certified with the first base card number 88, also with the mirror, and then Panini Prism scripted signatures, no Prism base cards, but only autographs, and then 2018 Panini Victory Lane, the base card there with different parallels, printing plates, and 2018 Panini Victory Lane signatures. So I'm not going to go through all the ones because I know we've talked about him quite a bit as well. So
Yep, definitely our rookie of the year this year by far.
definitely, and in the playoffs, currently outside looking in for the round of eight. He started the season with a bang with that win in Daytona.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a lot of guys that have been trying to win the Daytona 500 for a decade or more, and he pops in there his first year and wins it. You know how they were feeling. They were like,
Well, did you have you been watching the series on USA Race for the Championship?
off and on.
So they mentioned that second episode was about Daytona, and they're talking to Blaney, some of that commentary about how he was trying to work with with Cindric. They're trying, they were up there up front. I don't know if Joey was up there as well, but trying to get the win for the team, and he was pushing Blaney, and then I guess he came out of that draft to get the win. So um, they kind of, I guess, implied that Cindric, if he had it to do over, he would have changed the outcome, but or maybe he wouldn't have done that, but he got his first win. So it's been a pretty interesting show. I've been enjoying it. Then it's got some race day stuff and then some during the week stuff. So I don't know if
Yeah,
it's as exciting as the F1 show on Netflix, but
yeah, I haven't kept up with it. I probably should, but and I'll probably end up going back and kind of binge watching it.
yeah, well, and that just speaks to how exciting it is, I guess. So anyway, next race. Did I already say that? So the next race is gonna be Talladega Speedway. We have 5 till Phoenix. That's the Yellowwood 500. That's Sunday, October 2nd at 2 p.m. Stages are gonna be end of lap 60, end of lap 120, end of lap 188. So we're race one of three in the round of 12. Right now in the cutoff spots, Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, and Alex Bowman. This sounds a lot like some of the drivers or all the drivers we mentioned that we thought would be cut off in the round of 16. So
Pretty much.
maybe we got our rounds wrong.
Yeah, I forgot how to cipher, so I didn't do it right.
Maybe now ones to watch are positions 7 and 8. Chase Elliott with his issues, he's only +4 to the good. Daniel Suarez is +4 to the good as well in position 8. So those bottom ones, they're gonna need to win. They're gonna need to win in these last two. So it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna say that. I was gonna say something, but I probably just need to not say it.
Okay. IndyCar is done. Champion Will Power and Rookie of the Year Christian Lundgaard. And then Formula One, they have been off, but they're getting ready to start back up. Race number 17, the Singapore Airlines Singapore Grand Prix. That's going to be Sunday, October 2nd at 8 a.m. Max Verstappen is leading in points by 116 over Charles Leclerc.
Didn't they say that if he wins this race, he'll clinch the championship?
I was gonna mention that. I thought that as well. So we'll see. I don't know if he can get if he's gonna be that dominant or not, but we'll see.
Well, I just don't think he can lose it. I think it's just a matter of time before he clinches it. It's either going to be this week or maybe the next week or whatever. But I just don't see him. There's just no way. I think points wise for him to lose it. I think Charles Leclerc would have to win every freaking race, and he would have to fall out of several races. And I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping he doesn't because I'm not sure. If he runs away with Max runs away with it and secures the victory, for the rest of the races for the year. I mean, everybody mailing it in, or what? So I guess we'll see. To be
Yeah,
continued.
but last year's race that was exciting. That last race that was very exciting and very controversial as well.
Yeah, we're so far from that this year.
Oh yeah, it's Lewis Hamilton just hasn't done squat this year. Do you think Lewis Hamilton may win before the year's out? Do you think he has a chance?
I hope so.
There's always
I'd
a
like to
chance.
see him win one.
I mean, as many races as he won last year, they were like him and Verstappen were almost split. I think there was only a handful of races they didn't win, and Lewis has none this year, and Verstappen has whatever it was that he's got. So it's going to be more different than these 2 years. So I'd love to see him win just so he can uh, have a win this year.
Yeah, I don't know what his win streak is. I don't know if he's won races every year for the last however many years, but he probably has a streak he wants to try to keep alive.
Yep. Well, that's all I have for race recap this week. I know we took a little bit of time here with only two races, but
Yeah, well, it's only 23 minutes, not too bad, I guess.
yep. All right,
It's all
let's
Bella's
move.
fault.
It's what?
It's all Bella's fault.
Yep. Uh, Golden auctions. We can check that out quickly. Golden had their auctions finished up on the 24th last weekend. I've sorted those by highest price. So the Lewis Hamilton infamous 2006 Future Grand Prix. I think I have that image. That was a BGS 9. The bid was 27,000. If you remember the last 9, but it was a PSA 9. I think it was this here. 170,000 for a PSA 9 verse, and of course this was July 16th verse last week at 27 for a Beckett 9. So $150,000 swing there,
Do you know?
So,
or 143, I guess, whatever. I
So
mean,
if you do the math of the of that card, the PSA 10 is a $2.4 million card. That's insane. That's
yeah,
insane.
yeah, but that's back in July. A lot of things have changed since the summer, so we have to take it all with a grain. But we do want to, um, highlight some of this stuff. It is still a valuable card, and they're out there. So, and that's another thing too is as more become available, more get graded. Supply and demand. But the 20 that auction there. So for the 2006 Future Grand Prix, we have some 2020 Sapphires for the Lewis Hamilton. That's a number at a 70. That is the 7th anniversary. That was 8,266. Charles Leclerc at a 10, $7,800. Getting a lot of bids, between 46 bids and 29 bids for the Charles Leclerc. The
Well,
Max Verstappen. Oh, I think, and that's the variation for Lewis Hamilton. That's
that's a good
the
sign for popularity. More bids equals more popularity.
yeah, and some of these are, some of these key cards being Sapphire, which limited edition, and the variation. So, one other note is the dynasties where we saw some crazy money. Now these and that was on the Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. I don't think we really had any of those high dollar names, but if you remember, these boxes were there's one card a box. They were what, 5,000 a box. I think they've come down to 4,000 a box now. But have been referring to them as scratch offs because, as you'll see, we have cards, for a little bit over that $5,000, but they go down to $150 in this golden auction. So that's a big swing for a loss if you pull one of those. So the Charles Leclerc, this is a 2021. We're also looking through these results here. The Stroll signature 3,600, 3 bids. That's a 101 actually.
Yeah, that's the only way that could be that price is it has to be a 1-on-1.
Yeah. The 2021 Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition gold version of the Lewis Hamilton, numbered out of 50, PSA 10 of Papa 4, $3,000. So, but I did see there were some of the older cards here. Is the 1974 Panini Sports, Nicky Lauda,
That
PSA 8, Papa 1, $3,100 with 41 bids. This was pretty popular.
that's a sweet card, man. Especially for Nicky Lauda. That is a killer card. Oh man.
Yeah, that was before he had his fire.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant open wheel
Yes.
card right there. That's just wow.
Not to rain on the newer F1, but I think the older F1, I think over time will be the shining star, the vintage, just because of, and Logan, just a few years ago, you could have probably had any of the stuff. People might have been paying you to take it.
Yep.
The grid, the 92 grid, and others that, anything, and I've said it before, anything that wasn't meant to be a collectible, can increase in value because just because it was not meant to be a collectible and it wasn't kept or consumed in aka stickers. So
Yeah,
there's a
you know, that's
1966 Candy Jim Clark.
Yeah, what I find amazing right now is, you know, there are a lot of issues that were unknown for the most part to the U.S. that have crept out of the woodwork. You know, everybody's going back now and finding issues from South America, Europe, wherever, and it's amazing some of the cards that are out there that I never knew about. I mean, gosh,
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the source in the U.S., right? Dr. Beckett and some of the almanacs and whatever. I don't know if we had that level of probably access to the product to be able to catalog all these different things. And if there was something, we would probably need to come out of Europe, where the majority probably of the products were produced, and people had access to catalog that, right?
yeah, and you got to think too that the collecting uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna say collecting mentality uh, in the U.S. is different than the way people collect in Europe and the way people collect in South America and other countries throughout the world. I mean, for us, cards are king. Over in Europe, that Panini, for years and years and years has made their money off of selling stickers, and that's how people collect over there. That's how they consume it. They consume everything as a sticker, and they actually use it as a sticker. They put it in the book, they put it on their books at school, they put it on their lockers at school. They stick them wherever they because that's what they were meant to do.
Yeah, if you go to eBay or whatever the auction sites in Europe, the big thing is the completed sticker book with the stickers in there. So that's how they consumed them and kept them. So naturally, that's what you'll find. So finding unopened packs or unstuck stickers is a big deal.
Indeed, it is, and those things go for nice prices, and as well they should.
Yeah. So this is 1984 scratch and play. So and it's a three.
Even in a three, that's a fantastic shape.
Yeah, I'm without getting some better images and stuff to it, but $1,500 is no slouch. 26 bids.
Oh, come on, just write a check.
Yeah, I collect
Write a check.
NASCAR, so this is all. I have to go to the bottom of the list for me.
I
Plus,
was
have
talking
a
about making that Logan money.
oh well, the Logan is a whole
Get that
nother
Logan
story.
money, then
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you guys think so.
So here's another 2006 Futura. Uh, Nico Rosberg there at 17 bids, $1,100 for a nine.
Yeah,
And then we have a 2020 Chrome Refractor Lewis Hamilton, and that's going to be SGC 10 for just over $1,000 with 21 bids. And there's also Refractor George Russell for just under 1,000. And then when we talk about some of these dynasties, you can see that they start dropping here in price with Valerie Bottas for 780. Again, the boxes were $3,000 to $5,000 depending on when you consume them. Here's a 1992 grid, which we were talking about with the Michael Schumacher PSA Gem Mint 10 for $660.
that's another card that's really come down in price for PSA 10. They
Hmm.
were up there a couple $1,000s at least, and
Right, and
they've
they were in like factory set form. And like you said, I think you could have had all you wanted for $10 a set. You're just a few years
God.
ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember scoffing at those things. I'd see them on eBay auctions. It's like, I had my own set that I bought years ago, and I'm like, who needs those things, And now look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So just quickly running through this here, going to the bottom of the list, you can see
Walter
Felipe.
Dynasty.
Now Felipe Durovich, that name is familiar. I can't remember what it was. He rookie of the year. He was something. Oh, I think he won F2. That's what it was. He was F2 champion maybe this year. And then yeah, continuing on to the 2020 Chrome Lewis Hamilton, not refractor, not anything, but the PSA 9 150. That was probably I thought a steal.
Yeah,
Wow.
And moving down below, these are zero bids. Here we go. So lowest dynasties here. Triple relic autograph of Nicholas Latifi for $150.
Jeez.
Like
somebody
Enclave.
got hold of
like I
that.
said, the boxes were three to four $5,000. You got one. So with my luck, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting one of these, and then somebody had to eat that $3,000 to $5,000 or loss.
I'd be crying over that, man. I hate it if I lose $20 on something, man. Much less spending $4,000 and getting $150 value out of it. Oof,
And that's why this is not geared towards us. So,
no,
but those that can afford to play can afford to play. So,
yep.
but again, they're nice though. So that's one of the things about people opening and whatever. So you have access to buy some of these. So they're beautiful cards.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. But like you said, Val, It's a L scratch off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Big time.
So I think was there anything else with the Golden we wanted to cover? So we covered the 2006 Futura Lewis Hamilton and its recent $27,000 bid, and then the results of the auction. I think we move on to the next segment, which we wanted to talk about, like some of NASCAR cards and some of the history and some of the earlier sets, not necessarily to go super deep on these, which when the season is over, I'll just say you probably want to like, subscribe to the channel because we will be doing some deep dives on these sets, letting you know everything that we know we found out about them and print runs and everything else on them. So, but that'll be coming up after the season when everything kind of quiets down. We don't go through the recaps and the other stuff. So, but basically, and you can look in the archives for some of this already in NasCard Radio, but and on the YouTube channel for like the 1970 Fleer drag strips. But again, we'll be revisiting them and updating, having some more current information. But the 1970 Flair drag strips. I'll actually, Logan, I don't know if you want to talk about the year one card because I think that predates that.
Yeah, I recently found a card on eBay, and I bought it just because I thought it was cool. It came from Belgium, and I'm showing it right here, right now. Um, it's like I said, it's from Belgium, and it's got two stock cars on it. And what's weird to me about it, it looks like they're going the wrong direction. And it looks like it may be someplace like Darlington or someplace like that because it looks like the guardrails at Darlington. But I did a little research on these, and the number 41 car that's on here, I believe that to be the Travelodge car of Jim Pascal, and then the number 16, I also believe that to be Daryl Derringer. And if I put these things in, that context, uh, I did some digging and things, and it looks to me like these card or this card came, in its pack, or I think it came in, some chocolate, but it's like circa 1965 or 1966. So this could be one of the earliest stock car cards out there. And I don't know if you can see it at home here, but you can see the Travelodge sponsorship on that number 41 car, which was Jim Pascal's sponsor at that time. And I went and looked at some old pictures and things, and I think that's when this came out. It could be a little bit later than that. You know how people are. It could be, 67, 68, but still, I think this predates the Fleer drag strips. And what's cool on the back, uh, I translated what was on the back here, and what it said is it says stock car is another new branch of automotive sport. Rough, brutal, not harmless, much practiced in the far states is what that means. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce it in it's that language. I'm just not going to try to even do that. But I thought that was neat, so I wanted to show that real quick.
I just like how they define stock car racing as a sport.
Yeah, rough, brutal, not harmless. Yeah,
Yeah, so 1970 Fleer drag strips. It's a 10 card set, and so it was the first in packs, but really the selling point was stickers. So you got to remember 1970, the stickers, automotive stickers. And so really the pack was designed to deliver, I don't know if it was gum and stickers, and then
there's
there's a
gum and
car.
stickers.
Yeah,
You
and then
got gum and you got stickers.
so like a tall boy size, and it was a wax pack, and the back card was the image, a black and white image with no writing on the back, full photo, and then in front of it, towards the front of the pack, would be the how many stickers you got. But it was like multiple stickers. So Logan, what you're showing there is like one sticker, but there's like two or three stickers per card, and they're blank backed.
Yes. Yeah, these are blank back. There's nothing fancy about them.
So like if you go flip over to like the one with champion, you'll see that the or just you pick one of those other ones where you can tell that there's multiple stickers on.
Yeah.
So the champion is one, and
Yeah,
then was it
you see them
Chevy?
spending a little bit too. So
Yeah, Chevy Eater. Um, there's the flag, and then there's one at Performance. What was that? Purelator filters
Mhm.
on the bottom. So
Yep.
there's like three or four stickers on that sticker, and they were scarred or whatever, so that you can peel them off.
Then what people need to remember about the 1970s, at least I remember growing up, I put stickers on everything as a kid. So I put them on my brown bag book cover, put them on all of my folders, put them on my trapper keepers. I put them on, lunch bags, put them on the lunch box, my $6 million man lunch box, my Star Wars. I mean, you
Put
put,
on your friends everywhere.
yeah, I mean, everywhere when I was a kid, I put stickers on everything. So they they just made stickers back then, and to find stickers like in the wild, because we used them on everything. I'd put them on friends' foreheads.
That's
So
what I'm saying. So I think the stickers. Well, last time I saw, it's been a few years since I purchased any. They're like $10, $15 a piece. But the cards, there's 10 cards in that set. But Fleer called it Fleer drag strips, but they were all over the road with the contents of the cards. So you had uh, all different sports in there, auto sports in there. So you have Daryl Derringer and Dan Gurney, which were NASCAR, or they're pictured in NASCAR. You have um, Graham Hill and Pirelli Pernelli Jones
Parnelli
with,
Jones,
yeah, with Andy Granatelli. Uh, you also have Joe Leonard with Andy Granatelli, Art Pollard. There's a Ken Miles and Lloyd Ruby if you've watched Ford versus Ferrari. So they're in that Ford GT image in there, and then Andy Granatelli has his own card in there. And it's kind of, I think, significant that Andy Granatelli is involved in this. And I don't know if this is where he got the idea for the 1972 STP set. So he's involved, and Andy Granatelli is part of STP and a major avid racer. He tried to qualify for the Indy 500 at one point in his career, but uh, I digress. So, um, and he's responsible for the 1972 STP teaming up with Ray Mann from Racing Pictorial. And then that was a 10-11 card set that was a giveaway during the 71-72 season.
yeah, that was an 11 card set, the 72 STP. Just imagine if Richard Petty had been in the 1970 Fleer drag strips.
oh my gosh, oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Pearson, it's kind of, NASCAR started in 48, so they'd only been running and wasn't as marketable, I don't think, as the other leagues, but yeah, it could have been, especially after the 67 season that Petty had. So it always amazed me that it took so long for NASCAR to get card set, or that
Mm-hmm.
Andy Granatelli had to basically, I guess, fund that whole 72 STP, or STP funded that um, with Racing Pictorial. So,
Yep.
but there wouldn't be another really NASCAR set until 1983 Uno. Now we have the 82 Kidco, but that's kind of a whole nother thing where it also pertained to a lot of different racing series, and it was more of packaged with. the Matchbox cars. But the 83 Uno, it was kind of a giveaway. There's not a lot of information about it. Kind of like, we were talking about the European F1 brands. It's hard to believe that some of these issues we don't know more than we know, and it's been, me and Logan been trying to piece information together all these years that stuff become available. But finding uncut sheets to find out who the printer was, information like that. So 83 Uno. Another set was 85, 86 Sports Star Photographics. In 85, they created some stickers. In 86, they created, it was like a 3.5 by 5.5 card. And it's significant because Ray Mann, who we had mentioned that teamed up with Andy Granatelli with the 72 STP, produced the Sports Star Photographics. Now, what's interesting with that, with the Sports Star Photographics, was that he created placemats. He took that image, created the placemats, had them laminated, which actually was, you think about it, was probably a good idea because, the guys, they could put that on their kitchen table, and then they have the image, and on the back is, again, it's a placemat size. And but you're selling them at the tracks and stuff like that, but it never, I guess, caught on. But he produced this. There was a space that was not printed on when he printed those placemats, and that's where they printed, not to waste any space on the rolls of paper. That's where they printed the photographics cards, and they were in batches, and some are super short printed. So it's a pretty cool, interesting series.
Yeah, the Dale Earnhardt is a short print, and that's a highly desirable card. Um, you just don't see those cards in high grade. You've got that one. You've got Tim Richmond, Harry Gant. Those are all super short prints that you just don't see every day. Jeff Bodine is pretty tough too, because I think there's 15 different cards in that set, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's
But
a nice little set and tough, to your point.
yeah, and you remember how they sold them, don't you?
Yeah, and I've heard stories that they were in Ziploc bags, like 3 to a pack, and sold at the tracks.
Yep, exactly.
So we're talking 1985, 1986 in the South primarily, and he was selling the placemats at the track, so made sense for him to sell the things and also use them as a promo. I'm assuming use them as promos, buy so many placemats or whatever, and you'd get a card or a sticker. I've heard where they had them at the haulers, and the drivers would sign them. So
Yeah,
They
that's
did.
the way I remember them. That's 100% the way that I remember them was you would go in and especially on autograph sessions, if you didn't have anything because it was tough to find stuff, you that they'd have their own cards and they'd sign their own cards right there in front of you. So 100% the drivers had them.
it wasn't until 1988 that the more traditional, for the traditional collector, shout out to Victor, that you got packs and factory sets of cards. And we had mentioned it. We were reading the articles in the Max Facts, and I, I want to say that when Jim McCullough did that first print run, he thought it was going to take months to sell out, and he basically sold out within just a few weeks of the whole print run. So he had to go back and reprint the print line, and then made the changes. So you have the Myrtle Beach printing and the Charlotte printing. So Myrtle Beach was the first kind of printing. Then they kind of, I don't want to say a living set, but took cards out and put other significant cards in, like took card number 43 and moved it and put Richard Petty in as 43,
And
stuff like
Daryl
that. So,
Waltrip added Daryl Waltrip in there, card
right.
number 10.
Yeah, and they took out, like Talladega Streaks, which was just, a regular track card or whatever, as opposed to an actual driver. So there are a lot of drivers in that 88 set. And just a shout out there, a lot of drivers still with us. and that's Brad. To your point, they signed those. So working on a set of those through the mail is not tough. Now we have some that have passed, but for the most part, they're pretty affordable, and it's a fun set to build. So
Y'all
Yeah,
remember, Logan? Do you remember when those cards came out into a hobby shop? Do you remember that? Because I do, and that's why I was.
I know he does because he talks about it when they got it and when they opened it. So I'll let you talk about the '88 Max.
yeah. I'll tell you my story real quick. It was 1988 Talladega. We were at the racetrack, and my wife and I had been talking to for years, thinking, man, they really need some NASCAR cards because we were collecting baseball cards at the time, and we went to Bill Elliott's hauler, and lo and behold, there's these boxes of cards sitting there, and well, I didn't know they were cards at the time. They look like card boxes, the little white boxes. And I went with the label on. I asked the guy, I said, "Are these trading cards?" He says, "Yes, they just came out. We just got them." And I said, "How much are they?" They were $25. It's like,
Mhm.
whoa, that's a big pill to swallow in 1988. I hadn't been married that long, and so I bought a set, and we took it back to the car because we didn't want to get it damaged by all the drunks flinging beer at Talladega. So we knew, hey, take it back to the car. So we watched the race, came back, got in the car. Of course, we're stuck in traffic, and my wife opens up the box, and she's in the back seat, and she's like over my shoulder, showing me all these cards. You can't believe this. And she goes, "Look at this card, look at this card." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And little did we know at the time, but that was a Myrtle Beach set that I bought. I had no clue that there were going to be multiple printings. So I got literally the first run of those cards, and from then on it was game on. And of course, it sparked the frenzy from then till like the mid '90s on NASCAR trading cards. But that was something. I could still remember looking on that counter and looking over there and seeing those things. It's like, oh wow, this is a game changer for sure.
So was this, I guess, the July race or the May race?
I'm trying to remember which race it was now.
Because so I'm looking at the '88 schedule. So May 1st was the Winston 500. I don't know if that's the All Star race.
I think it was. I think no, that was the Winston 500. I think it was the May race we went to.
So the Winston 500 was May 1st, and then Talladega Diehard 500 was July 31st.
Yeah, that race. I've told this before, but that was the going to Talladega in July. That's the only time I've ever had the inside of my ears sunburned.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's how brutal it was at Talladega in July.
So Brad, you had mentioned that you remember when the first time you saw the '88 Max.
Yeah, so my dad was a huge racing fan in that time frame. And if there wasn't a new movie and if there wasn't the Cowboys playing, my dad was watching NASCAR and was a huge fan. And there was a little bitty shop that, the guy took a chance and bought 3 boxes of those cards. And my dad bought all 3 boxes and just blew through those 3 boxes and tried to go back and get more. He couldn't get it. He could not get more of those cards. And that's the most significant thing that I remember is going back to the shop and trying to get more cards, and he couldn't get them. Like the distributor in Texas could not get those cards. So I just that's the main, like, it brought back a great memory of my dad and I just watching NASCAR and sipping sips of his beer next to the chair. So you didn't hear that, Mom.
The only place I can find them in town, because the hobby shops really didn't have 88 Max, was Family Dollar.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All the Family Dollars had them, so I literally went to all the Family Dollars and bought everyone I could find.
Yeah. I
And
just
what was weird is they had them. they weren't where you would think they would be. They were with like the coloring books and the children's books. That's where they were stashed. They were there. It was the weirdest thing.
Man, I thought for sure you were about to say women's underwear.
Maybe.
So the 88 Max was pretty significant. It basically changed the game for NASCAR trading cards, and NASCAR would have a set produced since 1988 every year.
Yeah, we've been lucky. I mean,
Yeah, we came
unfortunately,
close to not having them, but
Panini saved the day.
yeah, and was press pass dropping that one in 2015. Yeah, so but I think most normal, or if you ask a regular collector, they wouldn't realize that the NASCAR trading cards have been around that long. F1 longer than F1 and consecutive and IndyCar. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think the average Joe, and I think this does. You've got all the vintage collectors. You've got all the guys that collect from the '50s. I mean, the teens on back. I don't think they really appreciate the history of the NASCAR, of the just the significance of it in the industry. We'll talk a little bit more, but I really think that once people take a look at the history and the I'll say it, the beauty of the history of NASCAR cards, that people are going to go, okay, well, we don't know the drivers and we don't know the cars, but the cards and the history and all of that is awesome, and that's why I, I love that's why I love your shows, because it tells the history about it. So I'm not going to gloat on, because I don't want Mr. Hall of Famer PSA to get too big of a head, but
well, I think NASCAR is a very visual sport, right? With all the cars and the colors and all that stuff. So that is part of it, and being able to distinguish those cars going 100, 200 miles an hour. So that kind of plays into some of that. But not so we had a 100 card set in 1988, but then in 1989 they ballooned up to 220, and a lot of subjects had gotten cards in 1989. That's another one that is kind of a tough one to find. It doesn't get on get all the love that the 88 Max does. There's not a lot of variations in the 89, but there's a lot of first cards for a lot of folks.
yeah, that's where they included crew chiefs and car owners, and they even had some legends in there. Like that was, I believe, the first card for Wendell Scott.
Yeah, that's right. Fred
So,
Lorenzen, some of those other ones. So
yep. And the crazy thing about the 89 Max was I never ever saw packs in the stores ever here where I live in West Tennessee. Even going to Arkansas or Mississippi or Alabama, never saw them. Saw plenty of the little promo packs that had the preview cards. They had like, I think it was like 4 or 5 preview cards that were
Mhm.
loose in there, and then 3 packs of 88 Max.
well,
Saw tons of those.
the guys here, they wanted those promos, and the distributor, the only way you could get those promos were to buy the boxes. I remember those boxes being in the hobby shops here in Texas. So
No, I never saw any 89 Max boxes here ever.
yeah, and it's again because of my dad. It's the only reason why I was
but
into football at that time, so I didn't open it, but he sure did.
I think part of that might be due to Max was changing their distribution method, where they wanted everybody to come straight to Max, where they had gotten all of this publicity, and then they were selling factory sets out of out of Max, and then started the Max Facts. The
Mhm.
collectors club basically cut out the middleman, and
Fanatics.
deals. Yeah, and well, when it comes to racing, and just buy directly from them. So we can talk about. We'll talk about that another time. One other one that we did not actually talk about pre-show was the 1989 Winner's Circle. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's a whole nother one where that was a track giveaway. Also teaming up with some schools that pre-registered. It was a 45 card set at the tracks, 9 different tracks. It was a 5 cards at different tracks to try to make a complete set. Again, this was early in '89, before the price guides. People had to sign up so they wouldn't do drugs. Uh, Shackelford would use that list to help sell insurance, and they used the Maurice Petty name for performance parts for Winter Circle, and so that was kind of the spin for that. Super rare, hard to find, and high grade because of the black borders and silverback. So, um, speaking of silver, one of the other big ones that we talked about was the 1992 tracks. So this, while baseball was including one autograph chase card saying Upper Deck of Reggie Jackson or Noah Ryan, tracks came along and decided to, I think it was 10 cards.
Don't get me lying. I don't remember.
I
I'm
don't
I'm
remember
I'm
either.
I'm just looking. I'm doing. I'm just
But I
going
do
check.
know when you go to that next line of the autos, go ahead.
It's spinning. I had it up. I can't remember where I put it on my thing, but yeah. So there's 10 cards, A9 or A1 to A9, and a cover card. So reminds me of like in the '60s. Was it the tall boy football where it had like that funny ring checklist card? Nobody knew what to do with it, and so they threw it away and ended up being scarce. So there's a no number cover card for that. And then 9 cards. And then they worked their way down from A9 down to A1. So through the boxes. So at the end of the year, they had the A1. So we have legends like Benny Parsons, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Gordon, all in the Hall of Fame. Got Kyle Petty, Ricky Rudd, Ernie Irvin, Harry Gant, Rusty Wallace in the Hall of Fame. These are all autograph cards. And then the cornerstone dual autograph of Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt Sr.
NASCAR Flamer card.
All in 1992, all live in those wax boxes.
Well, I had a hard time with the steak sauce in that one pack with the A1s in them. It was just completely messy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay,
I'd
I
go
get
Goldin.
it.
So that's a significant, I think, set that was released, and one of the probably iconic insert sets in
Yeah.
NASCAR. And it was in 1992, their early era of cards. So tracks started in 91. Uh, Max had, I think, a 3 year exclusive. And so in 91, the floodgates opened and we had a lot of manufacturers making cards. So in 91 tracks, you have the Jeff Gordon rookie, but in 92, tracks came to play with that incredible autograph set. I'm telling how many boxes they actually made of that stuff, but
Yeah, who knows? But the first autograph, NASCAR autograph I ever pulled was Jeff Gordon out of that, and I got him. And of course, he hadn't done anything at that point. And I looked at him, and I looked at, oh, it's Jeff Gordon. Wah wah wah.
yeah,
But
he
now
didn't
it's
win his first cup race, I think, until '93, '94. So yeah,
'94 Brickyard,
yeah. So
Brickyard Charlotte. My
no,
bad.
yeah, the Charlotte, yeah.
Oh, then he won the Brickyard after that.
So yeah, you've gotten that a few years early to your point, but again, it's what a iconic set full with Hall of Famers, and then the dual Earnhardt Petty. So
Yes.
in '94, this was, I think, epic at the time. But the 1994 Max Medallion to celebrate the, I guess it was the anniversary of the '88 Max. that they had licensed or officially. So they had licensed. Now I remember here now. This had because of the '88 Max. There was an Earnhardt there, but he wasn't under license, so Max held back those cards. And the first official card rookie for Earnhardt at the time was the '89.
Mhm.
But eventually in '94, Max and Earnhardt came to terms about that '88 card, and to celebrate or to promote it, they put 999 copies of this '88 Max card, but they put a gold serial numbered sticker on it,
Oh,
numbered to 999, and they made 999 cases of the '84 Max medallion. This was a redemption because you got the card, a letter that also included a Dale Earnhardt Sr. autograph, and
Yeah.
I believe a brown certificate with the matching serial number that's on the card.
Yes.
So that was a redemption, and it was a case hit basically.
Yeah, I remember buying boxes of those medallion cards, and they were expensive. I'm thinking they were like at the time they were like, oh god, I can't remember how much they were, but they were very expensive
yeah.
to purchase at the time, and I can only afford just a handful of boxes, and I was hoping to get one of those redemptions and never got one.
Yeah. One just sold in July for $560. And I
Is it?
can't, it was, let me see which number it was. It was in the high, it was a higher number, 976. So number 976 sold July 18th, excuse me, for $560. I, I honestly think that my humble not opinion that's low. That's low.
Yeah.
That significance that's low. That's very low. But that
Yeah.
and $3 will get you a Coke.
So and also on that thing that they said there's 999 is actually 1,000 because there is a 000. So back in the day where I was scouring eBay and stuff, I came across this, which I think Logan said it was like from 2012 or something, or 2000, somewhere in there. On eBay, they had sold as 000. So somebody held one out. I think
There
that's
was a
what they had mentioned in the eBay auction at the time, all those years ago. But so that was a case hit. That was pretty major significant at the time.
whoa, we lost something.
We
That's right.
lost Logan.
That's right. The next set that we wanted to talk about is my favorite, absolute favorite racing set, and probably one of my favorite sets of all time. And that's the 1996 Press Pass set. And I absolutely like I'm getting goosebumps right now, and you're gonna feel my passion through hopefully through the podcast. Hobby product was packaged in 8 cards per pack, 24 packs per box, and 20 boxes per case. Also included in the hobby only packs was a special Jeff Gordon championship card paying tribute to the 95 Winston Cup champion. Cards were found one per 480 packs. Retail product was packed 8 cards per pack, 36 packs per box, and 20 boxes per case. So I tell you that to tell you this set is an iconic card set. Iconic because these cards were the first ones to ever include a relic. And by relic, I mean race used tires, race used sheet metal cards, and then race used Earnhardt fire suit cards. This was the first relic, and the relics are also are would be considered player worn or game used or however you want to call that. But this is the very first time it's done. So all the stuff that we go through now, the logo man, the tag, the any of that stuff, Press Pass did it. I think that press pass is so underrated in the hobby. I mean, that set even includes acetate cards. I mean, the significance of this set is just incredible for the hobby, and I just think it needs to be given much more due, much more respect, and much more love. Because if you go back and look, take the cards, take NASCAR out of it, take the drivers out of it, take like the fact that everybody like, oh, it's racing, it doesn't matter. But think of the historical significance of this set. And if you just look at the beauty of the hobby and the fact of what of this, I I love this set. I absolutely love this set. So there's my passion for the. When you said I was that I couldn't wait to talk about this. Could not wait because wow, absolutely wow. Think about all the stuff, the multi-million dollar cards we've got now, the all the Panini 50 bazillion colors that we get. Think all of that kind of, you could point it straight back to this set. Think about the 91 Fleer baseball. Think about the score. They were just the cards, or they were just variations on the colors of the cards. There wasn't anything significant. And I can remember when this set came out, we had just got into NASCAR as a family. We just got into it. And when they found out I had a racing tire as a freaking coffee table with a piece of glass over it. To find out I could get a piece of a Dale Earnhardt race in a card, dude, I was in. I was in. I love this set if you can't tell.
It's a great set. That year, '96, there was a lot of, uh, to your point, Press Pass did a lot of innovative, first with relics and fabric, and then started, anything you can think of, they were putting on cards.
Lug
So
nut, pistons,
right,
engine
they
parts.
would I don't even know how thin those lug nuts would be. They had that triple burner, right?
Yep.
So it was a sliver of lug nut, and then
Windshield.
windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the press pass did do windshield, but they'd have a piece of the fire suit, piece of the sheet metal, and the lug nut. They have them autographed. And again, these print runs were nowhere near
No.
the
Mm-mm.
other sports. That's what always blows my mind. And the prices are, I don't like to talk about it too much, as the pricing, because it's so affordable. There's so much to collect, and you could pick what you want. You don't have to collect everything. You can, like you said, go after. I do this a lot. I go after an insert set, and then either I'll go and I'll work on getting the whole insert set signed, or I'll go after an insert set that I happen to like. Maybe it's an autograph insert set that's die cut or whatever. So you can pick your things, and most of it is the chase. It's really not about the price. It's about the chase and trying to complete it. So, and it's all affordable.
Yeah, and then just to find that stuff in not good but great shape. I mean, it was the very first, so there, it wasn't all perfect and beautiful, and but just God, I never pulled a burning rubber. I never pulled like, I guess maybe that's why I'm so, because I never pulled one. I'm like, I can't believe it.
Well, I think I don't know if somebody had a case for sale, but it's kind of pricey at Steel City. They pride themselves on having a lot of stuff that no one has. And so, but just quickly, you're talking about the passion. I had I think it was a 2000 Upper Deck auto graphs insert set. As it was Upper Deck, it's die cut with the car on top, and then I think a picture on the bottom, and it's signed. And I had it on the PSA set registry, and somebody sent me a note, asking if I was interested in selling it, and he said that he had a set like that he collected with his grandfather, and that either whatever happened, it was sold, but he wanted to buy that set because he collected that with his grandfather who had passed. So we worked out a deal, and I sold him the set because I can work on getting another one. But the passion and the memories and stuff like that. So um, that's part of it as well. So
Yeah, I I really hope at some point people go back and they just ignore that they don't like the sport and just look at the history of the early NASCAR cards and just the beauty and what was done differently. Some of the technologies came straight out of NASCAR cards. I mean, they did, and that's why I, I don't collect a lot, but what I collect, you can't pull it from me. You will not be. I mean, the only card that I have, like, even given Logan some cards, but Logan, you got my bad boy. You got my bad boy that I sent you. So I much love to you, baby. Much love.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Haley Deegan autographed card, man.
Yeah,
That's
rookie.
yep. I pulled it out of a box that I bought it up at the local Walmart, and I go, hey, I actually asked Logan, hey, how do I get, is it possible to get this done through the mail, TTM? And he's like, well, I don't know. Send it to the garage and see if she'll sign it. I'm like, well, okay. So I sent it, and in less than 2 weeks later, it came back autographed.
That's
So
amazing.
I was like, I held on to it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give this to Logan because he'll appreciate it as much as I do. And now we got a love story together. So
Hugs, kisses.
hugs, kisses, and skid marks. That sounds like a segment right there.
Yeah.
well, I know we've kind of gone over here, so I don't know if we want to kind of wrap up here and head over to the King's Court.
I think you ought to cue the music, is what I think you should do. All right. My computer did some crazy stuff a while ago and it dropped me. And I got to get my notes back out.
I figure
So
you get an update.
I don't know what it did. It just my computer is absolutely just freaked out. And what was weird a while ago was I clicked on mute and I got the spinning wheel, and then all of a sudden, whammo! It just dropped me completely. So anyway, on to King's Court. This week's King's Court. Some weeks I do an honorable mention, other weeks I don't. Well, this week I am doing an honorable mention. Did you see that, Val?
I
Did you
see
get?
something that's called some word that we like to say often, and there's a hashtag on, and that's hashtag skid marks.
All right. Well, I don't see the honorable mention, so let's go to the Joker. This is our Joker of the week.
Is there an honorable mention? Am I missing one?
Yeah.
I thought this was the last one in the list. Let me look. This was the honorable mention, right?
No, this was the Joker.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Unless I did something goofy with cut and paste, which
No, maybe I did. Maybe I did it with the goofy with the cut and paste. So
Well, I am on NASCAR radio, so there's Goofy right there.
there you go. All right.
okay, yeah. So here's our honorable mention of the week. This was on the 25th of September. The Tony Stewart 5-star signature souvenirs with a really cool patch on it. Uh, I saw this and I had to add it because I thought it was just so neat. It is autographed. It's number 9 of 25.
Mm.
It went for $151 with 13 bids.
Mm.
And it is on card. It's not I don't think that's a sticker. That is on card.
Oh, 5-star.
Yeah, I like 5-star. I miss Press Pass.
That was a high end product. Yeah,
That was
$500.
a
I
high
think it
end
was
product.
$500 a box back then. Back in the.
But yeah, that's part of the Bass Pro Shops logo off of his uniform. So
It sure
I
is.
just thought that was a really swell swatch. So I included that as my
Very
honorable
nice.
mention.
It's kind of swimming.
Yeah. So next up is our Joker. And this is in honor of you, Brad.
Yes. Skid marks. Hashtag skid marks. Hashtag
This
skid marks.
this was on the 27th of September, 1999 Press Pass skid marks. It's a 9-card lot. And
Ooh,
what's
number.
cool about this is you have a Matt Kenseth rookie there. You've got Adam Petty in there.
And they're numbered to 175.
They're numbered to 170. They're tough. Those are tough to find. And it went for a buy it now price of $27.50.
Oh, that's cheap. That's
Yes, it is.
cheap for skid marks.
Yes, it
Yep.
is. If I had seen that, I would have bought it just to get the Matt Kenseth rookie in the skid marks.
Yeah.
And then
You know,
Adam Petty.
That and the independent. Yeah, exactly.
somebody stole that. I bet you somebody drove that like they stole it.
Well, as soon as somebody saw that, if I had seen it first, I would have gone click, real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bought that because those are tough and those are really neat.
Mm.
See, this is great stuff to go out there and collect. It's not going to, break the bank, but you can work on them to get a skid mark set. So
Yeah,
Oh wait, was that the first time I've heard Logan say skid marks? I think it was.
skid marks. Hashtag skid marks. So yeah, that was really neat. So let's move on to our Jack of the Week, our young driver. This was on September 24th. It's George Russell, rookie card, 2020 Topps Chrome F1. It's a rookie refractor, and it's a PSA 10.
He looks like he's 12.
yeah, he looks pretty young.
He does look like he's 12. He's only in his 20s. I think he's like 24 or something. He's still a puppy.
Yeah, young guy.
So they were asking $1,199.99 for this card. The best offer that was accepted was $900.
Wow.
So
Cut. It's not a bad haircut.
no, it's not. It's not a bad haircut, and it's considering what prices have been for F1, I think that's a fair price, and I like that picture, the way they took it with the rainbow in there. That really set that card off to me when I saw it. I said, "Oh, this is going to be my young driver right here."
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a
Nice
nice
photo.
card.
Very. I mean, the seller did a good job. That's how you present a card for sale
Yes.
for a refractor.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you present a card. You want to have a nice photograph like that instead of some kind of crummy picture where it's all cockeyed and it's got glare and all that stuff. You don't want that. But
Yeah, I don't think you would have got that from like a
Yeah.
scan.
no, you would not have got that from a scan.
No, you got to use one of these special lights that are set for video.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to our Queen of the Week. This was on the 25th of September.
Saw this. I saw
20
this card. Yeah.
2022 Donruss Haley Deegan Downtown. It's only a PSA 9. Those things grade pretty tough, I've noticed.
Oh, and foil. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the foil. Exactly. The foil cards just don't grade well. I mean, look at some of the things, some of the basketball cards that are out there that don't grade well, but command high prices. But anyway, it's a case hit, super short print. They were asking $149.99. The best offer was $127, so it wasn't far off.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I was guessing 120 in my head.
Yeah, so there you go. It's not too far off. It's a nice card. Still, Val and I are kind of on a holding pattern with Haley Deegan right now, just because we think that she could do better. and hopefully when she goes to eventually goes to Xfinity, she'll do good. So we're hoping for that.
Well, I think again, you have to go back to teams. I think you have to go back to the teams and the her support staff. I think this is one of those occasions where she's being hurt by her support staff.
Yeah, I think being in Ford is and for that team, there's not too many Fords in that truck series that are doing very well. So
Well, you know why, Val, don't you?
I'm afraid to ask.
Because it's found on road daily. It's fix and repair daily.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I think she'd have done better if she stayed with Toyota, but that's a whole nother story for another day.
Yep.
All right, King of the Week, male driver. This is on the 24th of September, 1987, Panini Super Sport. And they did a set break apparently. This is Ayrton Senna to PSA 9.
Italian too. That's pretty sweet.
Yep. And it went out for bidding. It went for $610 with 21 bids.
Hmm.
So that's not bad. A PSA 9. A lot of those stickers back then are way off center. Because they didn't care. They just cut them up, gave them to the kids, and moved on.
Yeah, you
they
just
weren't
had to be able to
trying
read you had to just be able to see the picture and read the name.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, we were talking about vintage F1. I mean, here you go. This is some nice vintage F1. And there was a time when I almost bought that set and didn't. Now, of course, I wish I had. But hindsight is
Why
20.
you could have sold it? It has stayed in your collection.
Yeah, because my collection is the Roach Motel. Things check in, but they don't check out.
That's right. A little Hotel California reference.
Yeah. All right. So next up, our Ace of the Week, which is our 1 of 1. This is the 27th of September. It's a 1 of 1. So they say. I think is that a 1 of 1? Yeah, it's a 1 of 1.
Yeah, it's a 101.
Chase Elliott Midnight Premium Patch from 2021 National Treasures. They were asking $1,095. What do you guys think the best offer was?
900.
I was going to say 975.
Higher.
Wow, did it really go for a cool
1,000?
D?
Ding 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 ding. $1,000 is what the best offer was that was accepted for that card. That's pretty incredible for that card.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the redemptions that because right now if you go out on eBay, you'll see a lot of Chase Elliott signed autographed cards because I think he fulfilled a bunch of redemptions because I had one.
Yeah, I saw a lot of folks talking about the Chase Elliott's all coming. So
it's a sick patch, though. Look at that patch. Good Lord, that's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a pretty card. Of course, I like Chase Elliott anyway, so I'm a little bit biased.
I like me a little Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Val and I were lucky enough to meet him at the Hall of Fame, so he's a real nice kid. His daddy brought him up well.
Definitely.
All right, so our last card, our Royal Flush, our highest price card of the week. This is on the 25th of September, 2021 Topps Dynasty F1 Lewis Hamilton. It's a race patch auto. It's number 8 of 10. And this went out for bidding. And people really wanted this card because it ended up being $4,861 for this card. So that would be a winner if you had bought a box of Dynasty right there. But those are few and far between. But that's a pretty nice patch. I don't know where that's from. It looks like it's the O on something. I see where it is. That Ineos.
Yeah, it's the O.
That's the O from that.
Yep,
I see it. And we didn't even have Jason here to have to
I know.
help.
I was going to say Jason would be proud of us.
He would be very proud of us because Jason is our identify where the patch is on the uniform guy.
Yeah, he heads up that department.
Yeah, he's in that department. He's also part of our promotional department. He does a lot of things.
You know what? I give that card a meh. I give
Well,
that card to
his autograph to me gives it a me.
I just okay. When you got the Chase Elliott that was just colorful and like a lot of eye appeal, and
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't know.
lot of white, that checkerboard pattern or whatever behind it. You have the blue autograph on there. It's 8 of 10. You have just not a big patch in the one letter, as opposed to, like, Chase is part of that logo. So I guess it's part of that other logo as well. But it looks like there's a lot of card there, not a lot of patch, not a lot of autograph, as opposed to the Chase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
can see
Tom.
the value. I mean, I can see the value out of
Hmm.
where the card would be worth what it's worth. But for me, eye appeal, meh.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week's King's Court.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brad, for joining us today.
It was an honor and a privilege and a skid mark to be with y'all tonight. Or excuse me, skid marks to be with y'all tonight.
Yeah, we're glad you showed up there, Brad. You did good. We're proud of you.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad I could just be part of the team. I'm going to take one show at a time. I'm just here to support the team. We'll do it one game at a time, one day at a time, and I can't come up with any more Bull Durham cliches off the top of my head. But it was fun. I listened to the show regularly on the way to work and on the way home, and it always sounds like that I'm just in the room listening to y'all. So it was fun to be on. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for having me.
You're always welcome, my friend.
Yep. Well, I guess anything else, gentlemen? I'll give the spill.
Hashtag skid marks, Ty freaking Gibbs.
Ty freaking Gibbs, hashtag skid marks, go Dallas Cowboys.
There,
Oh,
there you
that's a
go.
good show.
Thanks everybody who has stuck it out to this far. Appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to the podcast. We'll, like I said, when the season's over, we're gonna have quite a bit of the other content, some of the harder to get from these older sets. So, but for me and the guys, we will catch you next week.
Boogity boogity boog.